Good morning, brethren, and such a pleasure to be with you and to be invited to walk this 40 days with you and to do reflections with you all. And tomorrow is Ash Wednesday, and that begins the season of Lent, where we meditate. On 40 days on the death and resurrection of Jesus, and which culminates into Easter, which brings in the resurrection power of Jesus. In the first reading in Joel 2, verses 12 and 13, we read that the prophet Joel says, "Rend your hearts and not your garments." What does render your heart really mean? Essentially, what the prophet is saying is that we must tear our hearts open. God is encouraging us during this season of Lent to tear open our hearts and to let God in. We have heard very often, many of us are Catholics, cradle Catholics. We've heard of the three primary practices during Lent. We have heard that prayer that leads us to holiness, sacrifice which involves fasting, and almsgiving. These three practices are beautiful and it's essential. But these are just not practices. These are meant to change our hearts, to go out into the world and to share and go into yourselves and find a deeper connect with God, finding Him in those places that we have hidden Him. Very often we have hidden Him we have only given Him a little bit of space, a little bit of this and a little bit. We've not given Him our hearts fully. What is it to be completely belonging to Him? Every moment, brethren, God desires our hearts. God's calling us into a deeper relationship of love, whether it's through your almsgiving, whether it's through your prayer time, whether it's through your fasting and sacrifice. And during Lent, brethren, it's an opportunity to change our hearts completely and draw closer to the Lord. Our fasting, brethren, is not only about sacrifice. God doesn't need your sacrifice. You don't make Him bigger. It's to make more room for the Lord. It's creating a deeper longing that only Christ can fill. St. John of the Cross states that we have deep caverns in our hearts, deep areas, deep caves inside our heart that only God can fill. And as we begin this Lent, brethren, let's make more space in our life for Him. Let's meet Jesus in the desert. Let's make time to listen to the Beloved speak as He draws us closer. Let us hear the Beloved say our name. Let the Beloved call us. Come, my Beloved. Come, my Beloved. Come, my Beloved, and sit with me. Come, my Beloved, I want to love you. And just to finish it off, the two parts of rendering your heart is, first part is dare to look deep inside your heart. Don't just take a peek, but truly dive deep into your heart. There are many things that you may not wish to see, such as your sins. So many areas that you don't want to look at, or your wounds, for instance. Some areas that are wounds, we are wounded even from our mother's womb. We are wounded even as little children, and we have hidden it away in some area. I've seen people who are 50, 60 years old but are carrying wounds as a time as when they were children. Jesus wants to heal any wounds and wants to forgive your sins. Some of the things we could put an end to during this season is our self-centeredness. It's our hurting others. It's not seeing things from another's perspective. It is not giving focused time to the people you love, to your spouse, to your children, neglecting them. Not seeing things, asserting things only that you want, failing to keep commitments, worrying too much and not trusting the Lord, thinking that it's a nominal thing to do, to worry as a parent. Secondly, now is the acceptable time to end a few bad habits, to stop procrastinating and to do it. Ask God, what do you want me to work on this Lent? What is it that you want me to give up? What is it which area of my life do you think I need to let go? Make Him your spiritual director. Let Him direct your path. Let Him lead you to those hidden rooms in your heart. Ask God to give you grace to persevere in whatever you set out to do this Lent. Trust in God's mercy. Trust in His love, and at all times, even if you have failed, and even if you continue to fail during this Lent, He will pick you up from that pit. He will pick you up. He will give you a hand. He will pick you up and help you walk again. And as we begin Lent in this beautiful Jubilee year, and let us listen to the heart of the Jubilee, which Pope Francis has said. It's an invitation to freedom. a hope of the freedom. And this is the invitation, brethren, this Lent, that we are called out of slavery to sin, out of bondage, out of woundedness. So let us approach this Lent with bold hope and joyful anticipation of the freedom that Christ desires to give us. Are you coming along for the journey? Are you willing to make this journey with us? Are you there with us as we ask the Lord to help us to walk on this journey, to find that area, that particular freedom that we so desire? The freedom to love Him fully, the freedom to worship Him with a full heart. Have a blessed Ash Wednesday and a blessed 40 days of Lent. May this be a joyful anticipation of what God has promised each one of you. To you and your families, I wish you love. God bless you. Bye-bye.